in Germany. It's currently 5:20 p.m. and that's, I guess, one of the advantages I have over you guys in the States is that when you guys are sleeping at 4 a.m., it's 10 a.m. here, and I'm able to
I was in
get
a
a little
session
bit of
earlier,
jump
like,
on the
I
news.
saw 419 Turk. I saw him at 4 a.m. this morning. I was like, yeah, because it's like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. He's like, hey, let's get some trading in now. It's like perfect.
Exactly. It's probably more rare to see me on in the afternoon. After market opens, usually that's 3:30, 4:30 my time, so I'm usually back home from work.
Yeah.
So I try to make a lot of my money in the free market.
Yeah,
so
you're definitely one of those other kind of stock sniper / ninjas I call in chat, essentially, that have that time frame that they're in, and they're gone after that. You won't see them, but boy, when they're there, it's just like, get out of their way. They're killing it, and you better just get out of their way. I mean, it's a straight, like I always call it, a ninja or stock sniper, because they're out of nowhere, get you, boom, they're killing it, and then they're gone. They've got what they needed. They got, you know what I mean, and I love it. So that's what I love about seeing you and having you in chat. You completely destroy it. So let's just get straight into it. And now, of course, knowing where you are, serving the country. So again, thank you for that as well, especially as long as you've been over there, boss. So amazing. But let's get into your stock trading background. What was the birth year, right? Essentially, what did you start stock trading? Your full journey. Were you gonna do any kind of investments first, or was it straight into penny market? Kind of tell us your journey and any of those kind of battles and struggles you faced early on.
Okay, so I first started in 2020 during the pandemic. There's a guy that I work with. He actually makes about $25,000 a week trading stocks.
Wow,
So he was always telling me, hey, I'm killing it. There's a couple of inverse ETFs. He's actually really good. He's a guy I need to network with a little bit more, but he's retiring from the military, so he'll be gone soon. But he was making a ton of money, and he's kind of asking me, hey, do you trade? Why don't you trade?
Right, yeah.
Stuff like that. So I eventually went ahead and opened up a brokerage with Thinkorswim. One of the things I didn't know at the time, of course, there's a lot to learn in the stock market, is that Thinkorswim doesn't open till my time, 1 p.m. In the U.S., it's 7 a.m. Eastern time. So here I am, $5,000 in my account. I'm buying stocks or whatever, and I start trying to swing stocks. Right, you run out of day trades with $5,000, you start trying to swing. And then I get caught in a couple of positions where I can't sell them until 1 p.m. And was taking a lot of big losses that way from trying to take swings when I was out of day trades and things like that. Yeah. And I think just like when I was, serving in the military, it was just a lack of discipline and also a lack of knowledge. I didn't know, certain brokers open up at 4 a.m., some at 7 a.m., et cetera.
Yeah. And we still get those questions in chat. Some still like, what, they want to know when, and they don't know. It's one of those, again, like you say, early things you figure out along the way.
Exactly. So 2020, I'm losing a ton of money. I actually lost about $20,000 to $30,000 in 2020 alone.
Wow.
I would make some trades, basically almost run out of money, have $1,000, $1,500 left. I would just throw another 2,000 in, trade with that, have a little luck here and there, hit a couple home runs. But through the lack of actual knowledge in the stock market and discipline and training, there was no way that was sustainable.
Exactly.
So 2021 rolls around. 2020, I found out about this group, Deckmar Trade. Yeah. This is actually one of the only groups I'm in. Been here about 2.5 years now.
Nice.
And I was always up in the pre-market, catching a lot of runners. Of course, 2020 was super hot in like March, April, May. There was all types of penny stocks, low floaters. It was low float mania, as I call it. Stocks were going crazy. Right. So, I did have some wins, but overall I was losing my losing my accounts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And here's what I say most of the times early on. What I always say. Here's how we grew it. Like you said, we usually funded it back up a little bit.
Exactly. It'd be looking all right. Like I'm up $1,000 today, but I just deposited,
exactly,
1,500. Right. So, but yeah, and then I started actually getting in the video library, checking in with some of your videos as well, looking at some YouTube stuff, reading books like one Tim mentioned. Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John Murphy. That's a great book. I would suggest it to everybody.
419 here in chat. Say that again.
That's Technical Analysis of the Financial Markets by John J. Murphy.
Thank you.
And that's a great book. It's basically the technical analysis Bible. So I actually started to learn about support and resistance and flags, pennants, right, etc. Looking at the daily chart. When I first joined the chat, I had no idea what a daily chart meant. People were talking about the daily chart. And I'm thinking they're talking about just today. I'm like, there's nothing on here. Also, the VWAP, I had no idea what any of that stuff was, 2.5 years ago when I first started. So being around you, Deck, the guys here, J Trades, Mel, who gets up early in California. Right, I don't know where he's living now. He moves around a decent bit, but so I actually started picking up and figuring out what you guys were doing when you guys said this is support, this is resistance, this is a key level, and it started to connect with my knowledge. And that was about April of 2021 last year.
Wow.
So last year I did make $23,000. I'm up $6,200 this year. but I haven't been able to trade as much due to traveling to for work and things like that. And the markets just haven't been as hot. I'm more of a breakout trader alongside dip buyer. I'm not a guy that shorts a ton, and I'm not a guy that I used to buy at the top all the time. I'll be like, oh, this is breaking out. I had no idea to look left and see what the daily looked like, or even pull up the weekly chart or whatever the case may be. So I've through being here with you guys every single day, sometimes even on the weekends, and also education, I've been able to become a profitable trader during that time. And I wasn't an admin. Actually, I kind of just signed in one day, Dex telling me, oh, you're killing it. You saying you're killing it, etc.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that always posts how much I made or lost, but I do post percentage gains, etc. Things like that. Yeah. And I also don't alert every single play that I make, because it's speculation,
Right. Yeah.
As an admin or someone that's respected in the group, I don't want to just be throwing everything that I may be getting in out there. Like I bought some 22 April 3.5 skills calls. I mean, those are, I bought them for 29 cents, sold them today 57, 58 cents, almost double my money on those. Right. But I didn't alert that, because a lot of people maybe would look at skills daily and think, oh, there's no reversal happening here. The stock is, whatever, it's going down to 250.
Right.
So
I'm right there with you, because there's a lot of alerts I don't want, and busy as we are a lot of the time, it's hard to do that when because it's mentally you trade, but then it's a lot of the time to go over here and want to put those alerts in. But you always want the best of the best. You want to make sure the alert you put in there you have 100% confidence in yourself that they're going to be able to profit as well. But then secondly, you're busy so much a lot of times you maybe even forget, and I could have put that in there. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, I feel you 100%. The main thing is I just want to make sure every trader's that alert you get is going to be the best alert, and I'm not going to give you every single alert that I'm going to be doing.
Precisely. So yeah, that's how I got started, essentially.
Where would you see that turnaround come, just real quickly? Because you're one of those ones which way faster than me. Once you got into it, really got the turnaround. It seems like overall, and again, it comes back to the two things. So, would you say it was where the turnaround came from? Was you putting the time and effort, like you said, screen time in, and figuring out what kind of trader you were and learning those things? And then secondly, what was the big epiphany, like if you could get to that, when it really all started clicking? And not say if it wasn't a certain thing, what was the time? Was it last April? Was it last January of 2021? But what was it that got you to that point? Was it that time that, the screen time, the experience, just, putting all that effort in? What was it that got you over that big hurdle at first, became a successful trader? And when do you think that was?
That was the middle of 2021. And I would say the education is key. I mean, you can't, if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know what the EMAs are, support and resistance, if you don't know what normally, what will happen 70% of the time in a pennant, what happens 70% of the time in a wedge, etc. What happened, what a falling channel is, what a rising wedge is, etc., then you're not going to be able to trade. First off, you may get lucky every now and then, but you're not going to be able to trade consistently and continue to have funds in your account.
Right.
And then also, I think just being around traders, being around you guys, online, that really helped. And also, I'm an impulsive kind of guy by nature. One of those ADHD kind of guys. Always played sports, basketball, football, track and field. So. I have quick reflexes, with the alerts, with everything. So I had to realize myself that a lot of times I was just jumping in these plays that were already at the top,
Right,
so
exactly,
they were already at the top. It looked, and I'm also a stubborn guy as well. So I'm the type of guy that'll sit there and say, well, this is, it did just crack 480. It was at 530, but real volume hasn't came in yet. The market hasn't even opened yet. So then I'm, and then I would hold and hope. And, I eventually realized like, that's not a strategy.
Yeah. Right.
If you make a bad trade, keep your money. You can't trade if you don't have any money in your account.
Yeah.
You need funds to trade.
Where Active Trader was, they're going with the whole, he always puts the picture in chat with the, no, hope's not a strategy. Hope's not a strategy. Active Trader always shows that. But yeah, exactly. You got to know what you're doing. Don't want to hope. And that's what you do early on. You don't know the setups you're essentially attacking or wanting to attack. And even if you start kind of figuring out, I know what a bull flag, you don't know, like you said, the tendencies of them. You still don't know. You haven't traded them that much. Are you good at that setup? Or are you not good at that setup? Like you said, I mean, I'm right there with you. I'm not a big breakout buyer. The only breakouts I ever buy are with the crazy movers, which really hadn't really seen many recently. That you just know it's just the gap, the halt strategy essentially.
Right, like a DWAC.
Exactly.
a
Right.
DWAC or
Exactly.
something.
Yeah. Right. So,
Right.
I'm right there with you 100%. I just kind of want traders to I always call it relation confirmation of what you've gone through and what other traders most certainly have, struggled through. What would you say mainly that big struggle that you faced early on? Mine early on was, of course, the main thing a lot of them don't figure out, like we're talking about, becoming your own trader, what kind of trader you can become. But my big hurdle, even after I figured that out, was trusting myself and pulling the trigger. It took me going small share size and then getting those repetitions under the belt, so I finally started realizing, hey, I can trade with live money. That was my big hurdle to get over early on. What was your big hurdle that you kind of had to get over mentally, physically? Well, I say physically, but whatever it was in stock trading, not physically. Obviously, we would have known you would have had that part for sure.
Yeah, I have one hand. No,
yeah,
I'm
right.
joking.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
I had to get over that physical restraint. But no, for me, I would say it would, because I have no problem pulling the trigger. That's my thing. I'm a trigger puller, So
Yeah.
it was when the play went against me is cutting losses, before they run too hard. Cut them at 10%, cut them at $100, cut them at $50, whatever the case may be. Cut the losses, burn the trade,
Right.
Make another trade. But I would not cut losses quick enough, and I also wouldn't be willing to take a small profit if I saw a reversal happen.
Right.
I could see a big red wick, but not be willing to take the profit because it's not a huge profit.
Right, yeah, it's not there yet. Yeah, I'm right there with you because that was the other thing that I say right there. I was the opposite, so I was scared to pull the trigger. But point being, the same thing when I tell a lot of traders, like earlier with CELZ with the bounce play, I did a small account challenge. I started taking profit because, again, realizing the resistance that it was forming in those upper shadows, so scaling out into those upper shadows before it cracked over, and then sticking to the stop loss. That was the one thing too early on. Where a lot of traders, that was the thing, they don't do that. Which we think there's I did the same thing. Oh, it's coming back up. Oh, it's gonna, there's so many things you tell yourself as if you're, again, you have a crystal ball, or I always say like you're Thanos and you've got an full infinity gauntlet, full infinity stones. You can do whatever you want. No, you can't.
Right.
You can't just will that thing back up. So stick to the things that you create early on, and you'll be a more successful trader.
Right. You start telling yourself, oh, it's got 2 million in float. I should hold on, or this has 1,500 times the volume. It's like, well, it's still going down.
Yeah, right.
Or it's still going up in the case of a short.
Exactly. And so I know one of the things, 419 Tech, not going to probably, and that's fine. I'm not worried about you going over too much today. If there are questions, though, because I want people to ask questions. So then if you do want to go over any setups, though, that they do talk about, but team real quickly, I got a couple more questions here for Keith. Build up some questions for Keith. So anything you'll have for 419 Tech, anything you've been wanting to ask 419 Tech, start throwing in the chat right now. But so simply put, what 1-2 like me, I can tell you right off the bat, it's a trend line crack, it's a shelf crack. Going on my short, since I've been going to more of that short side recently, I'm going more to that Thanos and the dark side, with Darth Vader and the guys. But I also, like you, I know the light. I hang out with Goku, I hang out with Optimus Prime, so I'm hanging out with the going long and the bounce play guys. So you know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for bounce plays. I'm looking for dip buys. I'm looking for shelf cracks or trend line cracks. What is it day in, day out that you're most likely looking for with your setups with these plays?
I would say the first thing I look for is trying to get in plays early. Being a breakout trader or someone that likes to buy and hold for a few minutes, I want to get in early. One example I have from yesterday was Pally, P-A-L-I.
Right.
I alerted that one. I saw that PR. As soon as it came out and I was in it at 95 cents, I sold at $1.30. I didn't have to do anything. Just go ahead, and I saw the PR right when it came out. I saw that it was a low floater. I saw the downtrend on the daily. So at 95 cents, as soon as I alerted, I went ahead and picked up some shares.
Nice.
On the long side, and I made 40 cents in
And you
a
do
few
that.
minutes.
That's what a lot of traders know. So I'll ask this real quick. So how, and before they even ask that, because here's what because you are so good. You and Mill are so amazing at getting in so fast with these alerts. How are you doing it? How are you getting in so fast, and what are you using alert or scanner wise to tell you, hey, of course it's news and PR, but what are you using to get that alert? And then what's your strategy upon getting in? And you since I have it up, you can use Pally, P-A-L-I, for an example, since I have it up. I already have it kind of pulled up, so you can kind of use an example, what you're looking for, getting in for the time frame, just all that kind of stuff. What scanner you use, what it is.
Okay, so I don't actually pay for any news. I get my news from Stock Titan, Thinkorswim, and then whatever is posted in the chat. If someone posts, a lot of times people will post just stocks and say, the headline. I'll find the actual PR and get the float and stuff like that.
100%. Yeah.
But I'm sorry. The question.
How do you get in so well, like with these alerts? Of course I'll say alerts, but you get in so fast with these news. So how are you seeing the news? Of course, that's what Of course, how are you seeing it? And then secondly, what's your game plan upon entry on all these breakouts? Like what's your game plan? Like yesterday with Pally, P-A-L-I.
Okay, so my game plan is to get in early and get out before the reversal. Get out before any sort of reversal. That's what I was able to do with Pally. But yeah, so for news, I use Stock Titan, I use Thinkorswim. but most of the plays that I find, I'm actually scanning for percentage movers or stocks that have a certain amount of volume at the hour mark. So when 4 a.m. rolls around, I have scans up to where if something gets 50,000 volume, I just want to know. There's not a lot of stocks at 4 a.m. that have 50,000 volume.
100%.
Same thing with coming around at 7 a.m. I may change it up to 100,000 volume. What has 100,000 volume in the last 11 minutes or so, and is up 5%. And then I start looking at those tickers, and I have my charts linked together in Thinkorswim where I can just type in the ticker for Pally, and I'll see the 1 minute chart and also see the daily, and then I already have the indicators on there, the 13 EMA, the 50 SMA, the 200 SMA. And then I just want to get out before a reversal starts to happen or looks like it's going to happen, or before the stock runs it to any sort of resistance.
Just so we know, what was your entry and exit yesterday on it?
Pally, I was in at 95 cents and I was out at 130.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. And here's what I tell a lot of traders too, which happened with it was, and I'll go over it when we get done with the interview. It was ALLG. I was just in the last session. It was a crack I was wanting to alert, and I was wanting to go in short on it. But then point being, it happened, and I was telling them, I always talk about candle confirmation. So when a candle closes and open outside a certain area, you're good for that next leg up, whichever it's, or down, whichever way you're going. And so looking at where you got in there, even though yes, 10, 12 cents of the spikes already happened, look how much more there was to be had. And kind of like my short, what happens a lot of the time, you'll see that, like on the opposite side, you'll see the same thing, and it goes down more. So if you just inverse this and flipped it upside down, when I get a crack, this happens a lot. And I'm like, hey, so what? I missed 10, 12 cents. Look how much more there was to run. Are you kidding me? So that's what I tell a lot of traders. I love your entry, by the way. And I love how I want to tell traders, don't worry about that sometimes when it's already kind of spiked up. Most of the time, team, there's way more room to be had once the confirmation, which was right here, took place, at least in my opinion. And so love the entry, love the price. I just want to see that real quick. So where you got in at, because like a lot of traders think you're in at 80, you were in at 85 cents. Like as soon as it started moving, I'm like, team, I guarantee you a lot of the time, because I get that question, I get questions about you. I'm like, I can't do what he does. I'm not that good. I'm not, well, at least I'm not good, because you're good at what you do, right? I'm good at the trend line crack or whatever. You're good at this. Right. A lot of traders think you're in right there as soon as it starts spiking. I'm like, I'm sure he's not in right away. But you've got to realize, and that's what I'd say, even if you got in, that's why I'm giggling. It's like, even if you got in right there at the open and close of this candle, look how much more room there was to be had there. So, dude, you kill it. So I just want to see there. It kind of gives me goosebumps. I love it.
Yeah, and also some of it is familiarization. Like I know Pally is a stock that doesn't have much float because I've been looking at these different stocks.
Familiarity.
They pop up in my scanners. If I see ALF or something, I know, okay, this is a low float stock. If I see ESSC, costs, I don't have to really go and do a whole bunch of research on 100%. The stock. So.
And that's what I tell a lot of traders. The more you watch those stocks run and you've traded them before, seen them before, you don't have to do a lot of research. Research is already, it's stored up here essentially. And the more you start remembering that stuff and using that, because you don't want to always have to be going and go, oh, I've already looked at this float up. Oh, I've already looked at this float up. You should know after a certain amount of time, what that float is and continue to attack it. I just want to know what you did there on those breakouts, essentially what you're doing, kind of your thought process there and where to get in. What was so right there, you said you got out about 130. Was that just a good enough profit? What was your thought process on the exit?
I'll have to pull up the chart.
You're good.
But I'm
probably
must have seen some sort of reversal happening.
I didn't know what it was.
No, I must have seen some sort of reversal happening. Gotcha. And I mean, and the profit was good as well from a 95-cent entry.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's what so I go to past chart history. I see a major shelf here at 130. So that's why I didn't know if it was past chart history or what, maybe you saw a reversal maybe coming in that time for me. I just would, just trying to pick your amazing brain over there and what you saw.
No, that was enough profit. I do see around 130. It did bounce up off the VWAP. So that could have been it as well. Right, but I don't look to, hold place for too long.
I just didn't know what it was you looked at when it started spiking. If there's a certain thing you looked at, and a lot of it was past chart history, or if if it was just certain movement that you wanted. I like picking the brain. I'm trying to learn from as many traders as I can, which I love. I love your alerts. They're freaking money. So
actually, right when I started spiking up, I had to step away. I was at work, so I did have an order set to sell.
Right.
So
there's a bit of what's funny too. I have to go back and look at that 130 area, then look at the bounce. I see a perfect bounce off the 130 area. Like you're talking about that with kind of the VWAP area. All right, so cool. Real quick, team. Let's get those questions in. I know those are your favorite. So what are your favorite setups? Just overall, you can just kind of name them. What are those favorite setups you're usually looking for? I know I kind of asked the question, but got that asked again from Alex Vaughn. Well, just generically, what are your favorite setups overall you're looking for?
I like to look for my favorite types of setups would have to be like double bottoms, triple bottoms on the daily. Stocks that have news and have that sort of setup on the daily. Because 2 or 3 bounces is better than one, or a stock that bounces off the VWAP 5 times is much better than a stock that only bounces off the VWAP two times. So triple bottoms, double bottoms, bull flags. I like to play bull flags on the 1 minute chart and for day trading purposes. But as far as overall, not so much, because for me, it's the stock has already gone quite a bit.
Gotcha.
So, and that's another reason for me to kind of be in and out quick, because, bull flags look nice. You can kind of tell, okay, it's made it through 3/4 of the triangle or whatever. It should be either breaking up or breaking down. You can kind of see that happening. But a lot of times for me, when I see a bull flag, I'll just, by the time a bull flags for me, it's a bit too late.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this is, there's going to be some resistance, some selling, whatever the case may be. If it's a low floater, I'll give it a low floater or something with unusually high volume or a whole bunch of momentum and hype from whatever source, then I'll give it more consideration. But and like an illiquid stock that has a bull flag, for me, I'm probably
right.
Not
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. There's the same reason is, and hey, there's a chance for this to push versus there's a chance for this most likely just to crash back on down.
Right.
Let's see here. How long did I take? Let's see here. 419 Tech. How long did it take you to get good at options? So I guess you do options, and how long did it take to get good at it?
I do options, but I don't know if I'm so great at it. I'm still learning.
Okay.
But I've been learning options for probably about a year now.
Gotcha. Go ahead. I didn't know if you were going to say something.
I was just going to give an example for BBIG.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, not BBIG. Skills. I made a bunch. I doubled my money in 2 or 3 days on the 350 calls, which didn't even expire on April 22nd. Maybe tomorrow I could have tripled my money.
Right.
But simply enough, I saw the bounce on Skills on the daily bounce at 207. $2.207 for me. That's a pretty good. Actually, it has about 3 bounces there. If you look at Skills, you see a bounce on February 24th, a bounce on March 8th, and then the most recent one on March 15th. And then I saw, the green candles on the daily over the 13 EMA. The bodies on those candles aren't huge, but they're big enough to me compared to the other candles to where I could see that that's a momentum candle to the upside.
Right.
And on Skills, we've had, out of the last 5 days, out of the last 6 days, we've had green 5 out of the last 6 days with the one red day that I see on the daily. So for me, that's a great setup. 3 bounces off of 207 on the daily and a couple green candles heading up over the 13 EMA with an increase in volume.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm showing it on the chat right now. If you can see what I have pulled up there on the Zoom or whatever, that's exactly what I have pulled up there to kind of has a perfect down. I mean, it's just beautiful buy right there. J-Trade's probably, I don't know if J-Trade's even saw that, but J-Trade's like, oh my God, how did I miss this downtrend? There's multiple areas right there to be, to see. I love what you're. I love that. So that's what I'm trying to bring up examples for traders in chat. See what they'll be looking for right there. Beautiful.
Yeah. So
100%.
So I saw that one. I saw that the $3.50 calls had a pretty good open interest for next month for 22nd April. So I took a bunch of them.
And then you got out. What price you get out?
I got out at 29 cents. I got them for 29 cents the contract, and I got out at around 57, 56 cents.
I
scaled
out. That's pretty sweet. I
had an order to sell at 58 cents since I got them at 29.
Yeah.
But I was watching the chart, and I was like, it started to reverse, and it's still heading down now.
How do you deal, or how did you deal, and maybe still every once in a while if you have them, large losses? How do we deal with the large losses?
I don't take large losses that much anymore, but I used to deal with it by just depositing more money in my account. But in reality, large losses for me, no, I mean, honestly, that's what I would do. I would deposit more money into my account, which I don't advise.
Right.
But I never would. I would look over them, see what I did, and a lot of times it was I held too long when I should have took a small loss at 20%, or I didn't take profit when I had it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
But I don't really play the gambly type of tickers, the one that spike up like ALLG. I didn't touch that. The ones that just go crazy. What was it this morning? We had ZNet or something like that.
Right.
I think it was ZNet. It went crazy this morning, but I didn't touch it because it's just a gamble,
Right. Yeah.
And if you gamble, you get burned.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I always call it technically sound. I don't know, just what it fits my head right. My whammy and bang, all the stuff I say, but technically sound. I want it technically sound. If I see it, it's just match. I feel like I'm in the matrix and I'm a part of the stock or whatever. I want to trade it. But if I look at it and I'm like, I'm not, just you don't feel comfortable. There's no point to trade that. You feel gamble. You feel like you're risking. There's just not a good proper setup there. Favorite time frames and indicators that you use.
Favorite time frames. I mean, the daily. I think the daily chart is always a good indicator. Is there a double bottom? Is there a triple bottom? Is there some sort of resistance coming up?
Right.
How did this, the stock charts tell a story? How did the stock get to where it's at now?
Yep.
So the daily, of course, on the daily, the 13 EMA, 50 SMA, 200 SMA, this what everyone uses. On the for breakouts though, on the 1 minute, I actually like the 13 EMA as well. So I do keep the 13 EMA on my 13 EMA on my 1 minute chart for day trading purposes because the 13 EMA for strong uptrends, in my experience, acts as a strong support and resistance line, just like the VWAP does.
Right. Yeah.
So if you see a stock that's well above the 13 EMA and the VWAP, for me, of course it can get overextended, but for me, that's one of the most bullish signs that I can see.
Right. Gotcha.
So I like to keep the 13 EMA because the 13 EMA is on the 1 minute will be the 13 the EMA of the last 13 minutes.
Right,
so
exactly.
That's for me.
Exactly.
For me, that's great for day trading purposes. I've experimented a little bit with the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA, but I haven't. For me, I don't know. They didn't work out for me so well.
I'm trying to make sure if there's any more questions here. I know I hate because I know I skipped through some though. Truth or not, are you trading under the PDT rule or is I would imagine it is, but is you under the PDT or are you over the PDT?
I'm over the PDT.
Yeah. And how long did it take you, because you kept refunding it? Let me just ask you that, just when you started getting it, how long did it take you to kind of grow back over the PDT when, of course, we kept refunding it. What was that time frame of when you finally started getting it until you got over it and then, moving it up from there? Month, 2, 3, 4 months?
So I grew it over the PDT at the end of 2021, around December, and I actually started being really profitable around May or June. So It took about 6 months to grow it.
And then we saw a lot of breakouts last summer too.
Exactly. I probably had about $7,000 in my account when I, between refunding it and things like that. Yeah.
Cool. I love giving time frames for traders so just so they know what to kind of maybe A, expect, and then B, what good traders can do if they really put their mind to it. They can really it doesn't take a year, 2 years. If you put, like I said, put the time in and really dive in deep, you can do some work in about 3 to 6 months. It doesn't take like me and I never gave myself the proper time, so that's why it took a year and a half-ish or so to me really finally going, hey, you might want to sit in front of the screen all day. You can't just show up and think you're going to be here for an hour a day and really get it.
Right.
Miss Boss says, where does 419 Tech go to see the open interest for options? He told me once, but I can't find it in my bookmarks. Please and thank you. So where do you go to see open interest for options? Webull has it and Robinhood has it. So I usually just look there. You can just look at the open interest there. Most likely will have it.
Yeah, your brokerage will have it if they have options. Also, there's an app called OptionStrat.
Cool.
And that'll show you the open interest for any strike, any options.
Alex Vaughn being funny, saying, what type of alerts you looking for? Who are your favorite traders in chat? He's looking for his own alerts. I'm going to say that right now. He's doing his own alerts. You're
all my favorite traders.
Yeah, right. There we go. Exactly. He's probably looking for Miss Bosses for sure. She's like, where's Miss Boss at? But yes, thank you, Miss Boss says thank you. So awesome. Yeah, any last questions, comments, concerns, anything else? Thank you seriously so much, 419 Tech, for coming over here and giving us your afternoon. I know it's later in the day over there. Dinner coming up. Already had dinner.
No, I'm not gonna have dinner. Actually, I have a basketball game tonight. Starts
nice.
At 8 p.m. So we're gonna meet at the gym at 6:30.
Sweet.
So I got about 40 minutes.
So probably a decent sized lunch then, I'm guessing.
Yeah. I had some homemade gluten-free pizza.
Good. Yeah, I remember this. Trust me, that's what I was like. I remember the athletic days. Not anymore, but I remember. I was like, I don't want to eat a certain amount of time until a big game or whatever. So what do you? So again with the basketball, what are you doing over there with the basketball?
I play in a German league.
Okay.
It's maybe like the 4th or 5th top league, so it's not so high. They don't pay us or anything. It's recreation. But we're 17-0, so we haven't lost a game. And
that's sweet.
Yeah, we have 2 more games left, so we're just trying to finish off the season strong.
I won't go into stats, but what position you play?
I play on this team. I play in the post.
Gotcha.
So I'm 6'4", so I play in the post and I rebound and
nice.
I'm the hustler.
I love it, man. Love it. Cool. Look at you. That's what I was loving the props in chat. Let's see. Pastor says, what are we looking for in open interest? So what exactly are you looking for when you're looking at those open interests?
So open interest is essentially it tells you how many contracts have been bought or sold on that option. So I would suggest looking for open interest over 1,000, or an open interest is headed to 1,000, because there's not 1,000 contracts that have been bought or sold on that strike for that expiration or whatever. It's going to be hard to get out. So even if the stock runs up, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get out or that there'll be buyers or sellers. But at 1,000, they're pretty liquid. It's easy. It's
That's nice.
pretty
Yeah,
easy to
that's
get out.
exactly. I always come back to liquidity, which I tell most traders, but I want to get into options too. It's very, very profitable. And like you said, in especially a short amount of time, it can be, and not have to go use a lot of your, your money. Essentially, you can go in small amount. Next thing you know, you've profited and made double your account in short of, I say account, but say you go in $1,000, $2,000 or $3,000 worth, you can easily double that in that day, or sometimes even shorter than that. Where'd you play? Real quick, D. Sarley wants to know where you played college ball. Did you play any big college ball anywhere?
No, I played in high school and then I joined the Army at 18. So
I didn't
pursue the
so
college
route. Just real quickly, where have you traveled to? I know you're in Germany now, so where have you traveled since you've been in the
I've been
in the
to
military?
Columbia, South Carolina, Augusta, Georgia. I've been to Afghanistan. I've been living in Germany for 4 years now. Kuwait, and I mean I travel all around Europe.
Right.
France, Italy, Prague. Going to London,
right?
Just wherever.
That's beautiful, man. Love it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of inspiration
for
sure. You being in chat, being over, and that's being able to travel like that. Such an inspiration for a lot of traders, man. So seriously, thank you so much for coming on. This wasn't so bad, was it? I told you it'd be over before you knew it.
No, it wasn't. Yeah. Whew, man. Thank God you guys aren't as hard as you are sometimes in chat.
Oh man, well good. Yeah, everyone loves it. Thank you so much. I'd say I may have missed but okay. How did you? Oh yeah, Green Traders wants to know. I'm sure just because you wanted to. How'd you get into option trading?
Same way I got into stock trading. I heard you could make a bunch of money doing it, and I jumped in and lost a bunch of money. I had no idea about open interest. I had no idea about being able to tell theta, gamma, beta, being able to tell if the stock price goes here, how much will your option contract be worth? If the stock goes down, how much will the option contract be worth? I had no idea that a lot of times at the beginning of the day with options, people will write options and they'll price them super high. You'll buy those options at the beginning of the day, and then by the end of the day, they can literally be worth nothing.
Yeah.
So, just trial and error, and also just learning, research, YouTube, etc.
Pretty much like stocks, essentially. How you got into penny stocks and learn just, hey, I'm going to move on to a new thing and learn. Kind of like me with, I guess, a trend line. Me wanting to short, going, hey, because what's so funny, I always did those alerts that I, on YouTube or Instagram, like point me out, and even in chat, like, hey guys, the more it tests this support, it's going to do what? Finally, one day it's like smack me in the head. I'm like, it's cracking, it's going down. It's like you've been alerting shorts for, you know what I mean? It's just one of those things you figure out and move on trying to get good at it. So, well, man, good luck with your game tonight. Do what?
I said short below support.
Yeah, boom. Because now you know you're safe because it's going to the next area. Exactly. I'm a safe trader. So me and you, I have a feeling would get along. I'll run point, you run the low. Even though I'm like 6'3", 6'2", so hey, be a big tall point, big guy down low. They wouldn't know what to do with us. We'll put Deck in the middle too. Deck's like 6'3", 6'4", so have a good game tonight, man.
Unstoppable.
Get 18. How many games are in the season?
It's usually 19 or 20. Ooh. Some were canceled due to COVID. Yeah, some were canceled due to COVID. We actually have 3 this week. We had one Sunday. We have one today. We have one Saturday because they got canceled and they rescheduled them for this week.
So hopefully going for that undefeated season is what I'm saying. You're almost there.
Yeah. Our best player is out, though. He averages 30 points a game, but we won without him. Yeah, we won without him on Sunday, 66-44. So nice. we should be good.
Yeah.
We have a good team. Good system.
Yeah. We only won by like 18 without him or so. We should be all right.
Yeah, no big deal.
Have a good rest of your day, boss. Thank you so much for coming over. As you can tell, everyone else appreciate you so much for doing this. And yeah, we'll see you over in chat tomorrow morning. I know you'll be killing it in pre-market, so I'll see you then.
Perfect. Catch you guys in pre-market. Thanks,
boss. Have a good one.
Ciao.
Bye. Thank you again. Seriously, thank you so much. Thank you again. What a man. 419 Tech.